Welcome back to Robyn Scherer Photography. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus due to traveling and all the kids being home, but here I am. Let's dig into it. I'm going to talk about the adaptive portrait presets that are in your Lightroom and how you can use them and modify them. So let's get started. I'm going to start with this image right here. So when you go to the masking button here, if there's a dot underneath it, that means you have already applied some kind of masking or preset. So if we go over here to adaptive portrait, I'm going to click on smoothing the facial skin. And once that is applied, now you see the dot that says you have a mask in place. So if I want to zoom in here, and remember, if you hit the backslash button, that will give you the before image before you've done anything to it. So this is Sook straight out of camera, and this is with my preset put on. And I've talked about using presets in other videos if you want to check that out. So here's before, after. I'm going to zoom into 200 and do the before so you can see the skin texture here. And once I apply it, it smooths it out just a bit. So if you want this to be even more, here's the slider for the facial skin. If you want to zoom it, let's go all the way to 200. So now you see it almost takes off all the texture. So before, after. So if you take a peek like at these little markings here, maybe this little blemish that maybe used to be there, you can see that they're almost all disappeared. I will not normally amplify this to 200. I will normally keep it at 100. I might go a little bit more, but I feel like that's beautiful and still natural. You can also hit the enhance eyes. The only thing I don't love the enhance eyes, but you can definitely use it, is it tends to do more of the eye whites. So it does work in different scenarios. Here it seems to work. If I go into masking and I don't want this, you can click on eyes and just hit delete, and that will take it right off. I will show you the brush I created for sharp eyes. And I have another video on how you can create brushes if you want to check that out. So most of these brushes I have created. So this is sharp eyes, and I will take it, and you need to select a brush and then choose what mask you're putting on. So sharp eyes. So if you're using a mouse on a Mac, you can move your finger up and down the mouse, and that will make the circle larger or smaller. You can also use the size here. So either way, whatever you're used to. So here I'll do enhance the eye. And for me, that gives a better pop, or what I'm looking for. And again, you can amplify this here with this slider. So you can make it really bright. You can reduce it. 100 is usually pretty good. So I like that. So I'll turn the mask off, and here's before, after. It just kind of gives your image a little bit of a pop. So the other thing you can do is take a peek at the hair. There's also textured hair. So again, if you feel like that is too much, use the slider and take it down, take it up. So again, around 100, give or take, with this slider usually works for me. Now, if you want to, we can check out the glamour portrait. That's going to hit a lot of spots on the portrait, and I will go into the masking and show you what it did. So if I hit glamour, so now that is applied. We'll go before, after. So when you go into masking, you'll say, well, what did the glamour do? It did more facial skin. It did the eyes, usually the white part. It did the eyebrows, the iris and pupil, the lips, and the teeth. Now it'll have a warning sign here because there are no teeth showing. So if you didn't want the lips, you felt like it was too much, you can delete that. And so if I go before, after, I actually would be fine delivering this image, but you will have to decide how much you want to edit and how much you don't. So I don't normally do overly heavy edits. Like I normally wouldn't do a glamour portrait, But if I were to deliver this, I would feel good about it. I feel like it doesn't look too crazy from the before. The other thing I'll show you while we're on here is this hair going across. I'll touch on the removal tool here. If you scroll down, if this is not checked, it's going to be just a very basic removal, which I don't feel works that great that often. Here it actually, let's see, here it actually worked out. So you can go before, after. If you do it and it gives you some weird coloring because it picked up from the hair here, you can always delete it, use generative AI, and this gets a lot more precise in my opinion. And like the edge here, it wouldn't pick up hair coloring and make a darker spot here. And then you would hit subtract and remove. And then sometimes it takes a minute or two to actually remove. It depends on how much you are removing. And this is a pretty easy removal, and so I feel like that looks amazing. You can even grab a couple other spots if you wanted, here and here, and I'll remove that. And then we'll go to one more image so that you can see the skin and hair and the other presets. So again, if we zoom out and we say before, after, I feel like that's a pretty beautiful portrait. So if we go over here, let's do here. So let's go back into the adjustments here. That's this button. Let's do a reset. Here's Sook, straight out of camera. If I were to go into polished portrait, let's see what it applies here. So if we go before, after, it did a very minor adjustments before, after. It wasn't too involved. If I reset this and I want to go back into my presets that I use, this is my basic, and then I'll bring the exposure down. You can see the colors are not quite right. So if you take your eyedropper, hit a white area, it'll give you a better white balance. I'm going to go ahead and crop it how I would. So I'm going to do an 8x10. And again, never crop at the joints. I do have a video on that. So I'm going to crop mid joint, so between the knee and ankle. I'm going to bring the rule of thirds down to her eyes so that you have where you want your viewer to focus. And that's where I'm going to leave that right now. So it has my preset. I adjusted the white balance. This is too cool for my liking, so I'm going to bring up the warmth, bring down the exposure one more time, and I will always go in and double check my skin tones. So 85, 78, 68 is spot on. So from here, if you want to do, let's have it roll up here to, let's say gritty portrait. It usually will give you an example. Okay, so now watch how, I'm gonna zoom in. Let's go to 100. Watch her skin tone and let's go to gritty. See how it gives it a harder look? So if that's not what you're going for, obviously don't click that. I will normally, once again, go to smooth the facial skin. And again, that looks great to me. And then I will also do textured hair. And she has a bit of red in her hair, so I'm gonna pull it down a bit. I just want a little bit of a pop. So let's go before, after. So I feel like it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna smooth her tan lines down here with a mask. So I'm gonna use a brush. And again, this is a brush I've already created. I'm gonna do a gentle skin texture and I'm just gonna smooth that up. That could actually go a little bit more. And then I'm also gonna smooth this tanning, a little bit of tan lines here. And then that looks good. So to her face, we'll do one more. I'm going to grab the brush and do her eyes. I'm going to hit that and that. And you can see it gives them a little pop. I'm going to raise it up a bit, grab the removal. I'm going to use generative AI and I'm going to get rid of this hair. This one here and this one. And I see one here and here. Now, when you're doing it over here, that's where generative AI comes in, because if I had this unchecked, you would end up with a brown spot here. But this is a lot more precise, so it should do a pretty good job. And we'll do one more with the gritty portrait. So this normally takes quite a second, again, depending on what you're removing and how technical it is. So that's a clean removal. Now, I do see, this is something you'll want to see. You can actually get this off the eye, and it does not mess up the way the eye looks. So I'm going to do the removal, generative. Actually, I'm going to unclick this so you can see how that works without it. See how you can see right there, it's not correct. You wouldn't want to deliver that to a client. So I'm going to come in and erase that, do the generative eye, and I'm going to make this a smaller circle. Go here, and I see I missed that. Now watch. The generative AI will do a fantastic job on the eyeball. And that is something to note. If you have an amazing image, but a piece of hair is going across their eye, you can definitely remove that. Now look how amazing that looks. So before, after, before, after. You're just missing maybe an eyelash, but when you zoom back out, no one's going to notice that. But you did a great job getting it from across her eye. So let's go to the processes basic bar here, panel, and let's do this image. I'm going to reset it. We're going to do, so if you have a basic preset, go ahead and pop it on. I'm not going to go through all the white balance on this one. I'm just going to do the cropping. That's a little, see, that's doing her wrist. Subconsciously, that bothers a human mind, so you don't want to do that. So let's go to, that's too orange. I'm going to fix it. Okay, so let's go down to the gritty, just for fun. So let's say I want a gritty portrait. You'll see how it amplifies anything that's not 100% perfect on her. So let's say tan line or some skin bumps, it amplifies it. So if you went up to 200, definitely wouldn't want to do that. And even if you take it down, I still don't love how it's amplifying something here or a scratch here. So again, use the presets with caution, and definitely adjust them as needed. And always use your backslash to double check yourself. Make sure you're not doing a crazy edit. Okay, so that is it for the adaptive portrait presets. I hope that helps you. I hope that speeds up some of your editing. It does for me. And yep, check out my other videos if you like. Remember, I have one that creates brushes and helps you check skin tone. And that's it. So hit subscribe if you'd like to continue to watch my channel. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.